Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Brandon Bell. He's the Metcalfe County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources and our pumpkin expert. You know a lot about pumpkins, and you actually grew this particular pumpkin.
I did. I have grown pumpkins myself for close to 30 years. I would have to go back and calculate it up. I took 3 years off when I was in college. I took my sophomore, junior, and senior year off, but started right back up after I graduated.
Now this variety is an older variety, right?
It is. A lot of people call it an old-fashioned pumpkin. A lot of people call it a cow pumpkin. How it got the name cow pumpkin was years ago people would mix pumpkin seed in with their corn seed, and they would grow as a companion crop together. And they would go through and they would hand pick the dried ears of corn, and they would pick these pumpkins up as well. And they would burst them, and when you try to get cows started eating them, you have to burst them first. And once they get that taste, just throw them out there, and then they'll do the rest. Once they get that taste, they love them. This actually is called an autumn buckskin pumpkin. There are other pumpkins that are similar, such as a New England cheddar or a Long Island cheese. I actually grew a few Long Island cheese this year, but this is a hybrid, this autumn buckskin, of the Dickinson Field Pumpkin. And the Dickinson Field Pumpkin is also referred to sometimes as the Kentucky Field Pumpkin. If you've listened to me talk about pumpkins before, which I usually do on this program each fall, I talked about how 85 to 90% of the nation's pumpkin supply, canned pumpkin supply, that we use for pies around Thanksgiving, is produced in or around the town of Morton, Illinois. And that is where the Libby's plant is. And all that's in that can of pumpkin is pumpkin. Now they do have pumpkin pie filling, but if you just buy their regular pumpkin, that's all that's in there. What they're using is the Dickinson pumpkin. So this pumpkin right here is a commercial variety. You can still get some Dickinson, I think, in some small seed quantities, like in packs of 20. But most people that grow in commercially, either for decoration or for processing, will order something like the autumn buckskin because it is a hybrid of that original Dickinson.
Absolutely. Now this is a big one of these. Actually a state fair winner.
This is a state fair winner. My son entered this in Cloverville, which is where the 4-H entries go, and it was the largest pumpkin in Cloverville by weight. Now it was far from the largest pumpkin at the fair. In the open division, there was a pumpkin that weighed over 1,200 pounds. So we're not near to that level, but we don't try to grow giant pumpkins. This was a little bit of a freak of nature. These typically don't get that big. But this pumpkin actually, believe it or not, was harvested a year ago. It was harvested in September of 2022. And it has been sitting in my living room on my coffee table for a year now, minus its time at the state fair when it went on a little bit of a road trip. But you can imagine how happy my wife was when she asked me if she could move the pumpkin when she put the Christmas tree up. And I said, absolutely not. It's like a member of the family. It's going to sit here as long as it possibly can. And I'm hoping that it makes it through another Christmas season and maybe can live to be 2 years old.
Now, is that one of the features of this variety, though?
They do store real well. It is rare that they do stay sound this long, but they're a very thick-walled, hardy pumpkin. But you've got to, when you harvest that pumpkin, it's got to be clean, it's got to be disease-free, it's got to be free of blemishes, insect damage. It's got to be in really good shape when it goes into storage for it to store very long and come out of storage looking like this. Notice I said I was in my living room. You don't have to keep it in your living room or on your coffee table, but it has been in a climate-controlled situation ever since it was pulled from the field.
All right, so if people are looking to maybe just raise pumpkins for maybe some canned or frozen pumpkin to make for cooking, this would be an ideal variety.
Absolutely.
All right, Brandon, we'll certainly appreciate the information. And if you have questions about raising pumpkins, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.